This is AUGforums.com Real Talk, an unfiltered, independent perspective on Acumatica Cloud ERP. My name is Tim Rodman, and I want to mention three things in this pre-recorded intro before we get started. First, thank you to our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Repay. Repay offers omni-channel integrated payment solutions for Acumatica users. Whether you are making B2B payments or collecting them, Repay is your full-service payments provider. Power up your payments to empower your business and accelerate the AP and AR payment flow through one seamless integration. Our second sponsor is DataSelf. DataSelf Analytics is a revolutionary reporting solution that enables organizations to make the most informed decisions faster and easier than ever. It uniquely simplifies business intelligence, empowers anyone to build and access dashboards, and delivers critical business insight when and where you need it. Our third sponsor is Velixo. Velixo is an award-winning provider of Excel-based reporting solutions for Acumatica. With Velixo, you can build financial, project, and other business reports in Excel with live Acumatica data in just a few minutes and get the answers you need. If you know Excel, you can do it. Please take a minute to support this podcast by clicking each one of the sponsor banners located at augforums.com/sponsors. Our sponsors track clicks, and every click helps to support this podcast. The second thing I'd like to mention is that I'm always looking for victims. Guests. If you use Acumatica in any capacity, no matter how small, I'd love to talk with you. Check out augforums.com/podcast and click the link near the top of the page to learn more about being a guest on the podcast. Third and finally, I'd love to see you listed on my Rolodex. Check out augforums.com/Rolodex to find out who else is using Acumatica and read the instructions at the top to see how you can add yourself to the list. All right, that's it for the pre-recorded intro. Let's get started. I did a total of 18 interviews with people at Summit, and I'm dividing those 18 interviews into 4 parts, 4 separate podcast episodes, just so each episode won't be too long. Today is Tuesday, January 25th, 2022, and this is episode number 62, Acumatica Summit 2022, Interviews Part 1. Hello, Nicole. Thanks for jumping on and doing an interview live from Acumatica Summit 2022. Appreciate it.
Hey, Tim. Thank you so much. I'm really glad to not only be here in Vegas, but be here with you too, virtually.
Maybe you could tell us who you are, who you work for, and what you do there.
Sure. So my name is Nicole Ronchetti, and I am the president of Acuconnect. I am also a senior technical consultant at DSD Business Systems. So we're here at the Wynn in Las Vegas. Things are just starting to get kicked off, and we just had a session on Acuconnect just a little while ago down in the ballrooms. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be here and for Acumatica Summit to get started.
So how much time, when did your plane land, and when did the Acuconnect session start?
So my plane landed at about 12:30, and the session started at 3:30, which doesn't sound terrible, but as you know, with all of the traveling, trying to get from the hotel, get here, get checked in, get my badge for the registration, then make the long trip. My room is on the top floor, so like to make it all the way down to where our session was, I did feel very pressed for time. But it all worked out. Check-in was super fast, both with the hotel and with the conference, so that was great. You know, a lot of people have complained in the past about how long check-ins can sometimes be, but at least for me, it was super easy. The hotel had you could just check in at a kiosk and it would print your keys. And luckily my room was ready, so I had no delays in anything. I was a little bit worried about our session because the session is pretty much right at the start, and I know people are still kind of traveling in, people are still getting in. So we were worried we wouldn't get a very high attendance. But we had one of the larger size ballrooms,
Oh,
and
okay.
we had a pretty full house, and it turned out pretty good. We had a pretty packed room for
Wow.
such an oddball time to be doing a session. So it was good.
Actually, it's interesting that time because I think it was, boy, I can't remember now, 2 or 3 years ago when that first like user group session was about the same
Yeah.
time slot. And then I don't remember the first Acuconnect session I went to. I don't think it was that time slot, but
We had a
that's good. You got
similar kind of situation where it was like around the time that people were checking in, and so like we thought, that made it difficult for people, but we had really good attendance in the room, really good engagement in the room. So it really worked out fantastic. So, and it's always just great that Acumatica really supports our AcuConnect community and allows us to do a session to promote it. So it's great to always have the publisher support in us doing that.
So what'd you say? Over 50 people, over 100 people, if you had to ballpark?
I would probably say like 50 to 75.
That's solid. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people are still getting in Sunday
Yeah.
afternoon. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I would say it was pretty solid attendance. Just a couple of announcements that we made during the
Yeah,
group.
just gonna ask you that for those of us who weren't there.
For those of you who weren't there, a couple of things that we announced. We have we kind of announced our new board makeup for AcuConnect, and for those who don't know, we did formalize AcuConnect as a 501c this year, and formalized our board, and we're also expanding our board. So the current board was myself, uh, Liz Anderson from Repay, Darcy Borio from DAB Partners, um, Jeff Franklin from True Commerce, and Johnny Girardi from DataSelf. We announced today that we voted in last week 2 new board members, one of which is Amy Keenan from the ISV Society. Some people know Amy previously from places like Avalar and Rockton. She's been involved in the community quite a bit. And also Louisa Gooding from Acumatica is joining our board. So we're just kind of excited to bring on additional folks who can kind of join the community and bring it to the next level, and just help continue to grow it.
Any other announcements that happened there, or like what was the discussion like? How did it go?
Yeah, so I mean, some of the discussion was just kind of reiterating, who the group is, why get involved. We're always looking for more committee volunteers to help organize events and help grow the community. So we're kind of expanding out some of our committees. So, obviously, we're always looking for more volunteers to participate in that. And additionally, we handed out some awards for what we call our top Acu-connectors. So people who were really involved in the community throughout the year, we had awards made, and handed out awards to those folks. So we handed out those awards. And then additionally, we did a special award also that we're going to do every year. Some people may or may not be aware that there was kind of someone who had been around in the channel for quite some time, Ryan Steigerwald, from most recently from Lockstep, but he's been at a number of places in the channel. He passed away this past year. So we created a special award called the Steige Award, because Steige was his nickname. So we presented that Steige Award to Amy Keenan, in kind of memory of Ryan. So we spoke about Ryan, and spoke about the importance of building a community and building a channel, and handed out those awards to those deserving nominees. So
That's
it was a
cool.
really good
That's really
session.
neat.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
the kind of things that make a community. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we were really, really just happy at the attendance. Happy to see everybody. Me personally, it's the first time I've been to a conference in 2 years. I didn't come to Acumatica Summit in July. So for me, I was a little like, like most people, I was probably on the fence about attending a conference a little bit. Like, do I want to come? Do I not want to come? And so far, I'm just like, I'm glad I came. It's so good to see everybody. So good to get back involved, and just see what's going on and see everybody. So
Yeah, we're
It's been good.
still dealing with COVID a little bit. Your mask was snagged on your AirPods right before we went live. There's still
Yeah.
evidence of it, of course,
I
but
mean,
it's
I took my mask off. I'm hoping I don't get in trouble because I will say that everyone at the Win is wearing masks pretty much constantly, which is great to see. I just took it off and kind of ducked in a little corner here so I could do this with you. But yeah, it's always interesting, you know. And I just came back from a client trip. I was visiting one of our Acumatica customers last week and through part of this week. And, you know, it's just always interesting to me now, too, to see how different locations in the United States are about their
yeah.
COVID policies and things like that. I kind of thought Vegas wouldn't be as careful as it seems like they're being. So it's
Oh,
refreshing. It's
that surprises
refreshing.
me too. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking like, oh, no one will be wearing masks, but no, if anything, I feel like I might get in trouble by not wearing a mask right now. So that's a good thing, right?
That is a good
So
thing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, and you know, because I did come back from a client trip, I think I took 3 COVID tests this week, because I was so paranoid about like, you know, I felt fine, but I was just worried about maybe carrying it or anything else and coming to a
Sure.
conference. So I took 3 COVID tests, 2 at-home tests, and 1 lab test in the last 3 days.
So you are
Might be a
extra
little
sure.
excessive. Yeah, I just wanted to be extra
That's
careful.
good.
So yeah,
So what
crazy.
about tomorrow and Tuesday? What's your game plan? Is it mostly seeing people or is it attending sessions, combination of both?
Definitely attending sessions. You know, I think I was a little bit bummed out because it seemed like the sessions were definitely in these like clumps where there would be these like blocks of time where I was like, oh, there's like 3 things I want to see and they're all at the same time. And then there's this other block where it's like, there's nothing, you know, so that's a little bit difficult, but you know, especially being a part of, you know, being at a reseller where I have coworkers here, we kind of decided to divide and conquer on sessions so that we can all get a little bit of what we want to see and take notes and share them with each other. So that's, you know, how we kind of handle it, you know, between the 3 or 4 consultants that we have here from DSD. So yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of divide and conquer, but yeah, I'm really excited to see the sessions and see what's new and just learning some different stuff that probably already came out, but maybe need to just brush up on, you know? So I'm excited to look at point of sale if I can see a little bit more about the new point of sale while I'm here, because I have a few customers who are interested in that. But yeah, always just for me, it's always about learning and that first and foremost. So I'm really excited to go to the sessions and whatever else happens, that's just icing to me. So
Yeah, I heard it might be challenging with not as many Acumatica employees there. Like maybe
mm,
especially from Moscow, they might not have been able to get there as easily with visas and things. But
maybe. I mean,
you
I
haven't
did
noticed that
hear
yet.
of. I haven't noticed that yet, but it's a little too soon to tell, probably. But you know, we had quite a few Acumatica people. I've run into quite a few Acumatica people, but I equally had seen, you know, gotten some emails from different Acumatica people saying, "Oh, we're not going to be attending." So, um, you know, so we'll see. I mean, but we've kind of seen that not just amongst Acumatica, but the VARs as well. You know, I mean, it's just kind of the state of the world that we're
Yeah,
living in. So it's
yeah,
like,
last
you
minute
know,
stuff.
no one can really get too upset about it because I think we're all understanding of it. You know,
Sure.
we had people who we were planning. You know, some of our board members from AccuConnect were planning on, you know, attending up until 3 or 4 days ago when you know one of the somebody's kids got COVID and things like that. So it's always just, you know, you kind of play it by ear and we make do and we'll still have a good time anyways. You know, so I think it'll
At
work out
least you
good.
got out there. Yeah, I haven't been on a plane
Yeah.
in over 2 years, so no, props
Yeah,
to you for getting out there. That's great.
it was definitely tough after doing this client trip last week. I swear, I mean, I haven't traveled much at all in the last couple of years, and I have been on 7 or 8 planes in the last 2 weeks. And this is like, I'm in like travel and social overload. I'm like, when this is done, I want to curl back up into my little antisocial ball in my house and never leave. Like, it's
I
so
feel the
tough.
same way after Summit. Yeah, it's exhausting for me.
It's so
Introverts like us,
exhausting.
yeah, the big shows are not
Yeah,
the best venue for us.
it's tough. It's so tough. But yeah,
Well, great.
cool.
Thanks for being my first 15-minute interview. I appreciate you giving me a
Awesome.
flavor for what it's like, and hope you don't get in trouble for not having your mask on. And have
I
a
don't
great
think
rest
so.
of the time there.
Thanks, Tim. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Cassie and Scott, live from Acumatica Summit 2022. Thanks for jumping on. And how about I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, who you work for, and what you do there.
Go ahead, Cassie.
My name is Cassie Moore. I work for Alpha Insulation and Waterproofing as the Director of Accounting, and I work for him.
And I'm Scott Lyons. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Alpha Insulation and Waterproofing.
And how about number of summits? Is this the first summit for both of you?
No, I'm on what, number 3?
Yeah,
Number 3 already? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're veterans, and you're just getting started. So how's it going so far? Or learned anything yet? Or what's your plan of attack for the next couple of days?
Stay hydrated, wear good walking shoes, and try not to get burnt out too quick. I think there's a massive amount of programming, right, that they give you here that you can get as much or as little out of it as you want to. So we're going to get the most that we possibly can.
And when did you go live with Acumatica? If you can remember the month and the year, how long you've been using it?
It was January 1st of 2021, so roughly just a little over a year now.
Okay, so this is kind of a celebration of the anniversary of going live with Acumatica.
It is, yes.
Absolutely.
So what's then, is there other modules you're looking to implement, and what's kind of in your the main thing you're looking to learn about at Summit this year?
So I think that our roadmap for 2022 as a company includes revisiting the payroll module. We had initially thought about going live with it. We weren't able to make it work. And so we are going to revisit that this year. And then we're also going to look at tacking on a reporting solution sometime this year in 2022. So we've got a busy year ahead of us, but thankfully I have an amazing team to help get through that. So
awesome. How many like ISV products are you using currently, or maybe any customizations that you've done currently that are
currently
live right now?
we have one. DocLink is our AP imaging solution. And then we have purchased WorkMax, which is a timekeeping software, and we'll look to integrate that this year as well.
Okay. And then so on your radar of ones to learn about, sounds like you're looking for a reporting solution. You'll make the rounds there. What's on your radar so far for reporting?
DataSelf and Planful, I think, are the two that we're going to look at the hardest while we're here. Thankfully, I was able to bring with me Aaron Wilczek, who is going to help with the reporting here at Alpha Insulation and Waterproofing, and he will be vetting them out for me. So,
oh, great!
We're going to divide and conquer.
How many total from your company are there?
Myself, Scott, Aaron Wilczek, who is be in charge of all the reporting and stuff, and Jude Dilly, who is the finance system manager.
Okay.
And so there are 4 of us.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
And this is our first time like finally talking. We've exchanged a lot of messages, and sounds like you're planning to come next month to our little user group in Columbus, Ohio. Is that right?
I am, and I'm bringing all my friends, Tim.
Awesome. What friends are those? So I can get ready.
So I pay most of my friends. They work for me. So it is, I will bring Jude and Aaron, and honestly, I'm going to open up to anybody else that wants to come learn.
Excellent. Sounds good.
I have several SMEs in the office that I think would really, really enjoy it.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Well, hopefully you can get on and leave actually, I might use this as your voicemail message, so I can encourage other people to leave a voicemail message, say why they're looking to come, and hopefully that'll help us get more people to show up in a month.
I'm excited to meet you. I've seen all of you done, and you've done some amazing things, and I'm excited to actually get to meet you in person.
Yeah,
pick your brain a little bit. Yeah.
Likewise. So payroll. Are there payroll sessions that you have marked out, or what's your? Do you have your little session there? What are some of the highlighted sessions that you're looking forward to?
Well, I'm going to attend the which one that my boss is speaking at. I'm going to attend that one, of course, about the industry and where it's headed for construction. And then there are some things about reporting, some sessions about reporting, where that's going. I'm going to attend those, and then a few other ones, mostly construction based, right? So I've kind of got my schedule lined up. I have a break here and there, but not too many.
Are there any on payroll specifically?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, one thing I like about Summit is you get to bend the ear of Acumatica employees firsthand and find out what might be coming and get the inside scoop on a lot of things. So that's great.
Yeah, we just got done at the industry leaders reception or customer appreciation, one of those things that I signed up for or was signed up for. And we got to talk with Sean Chatterjee and Ajoy and Todd Coons, and all those guys are there and more than willing to talk to you, which is amazing.
Awesome. And then I'm sure you have dinner coming up shortly. Is that the next thing on the agenda?
Yeah, next. Yep. And I'm pretty sure my boss here won an MVP award over here, won an MVP award. So we have to go pick that up too.
I wasn't the only one. Cassie won one too.
Can you give us any previews from your session, Scott? It sounds like you're doing a session there, huh?
Yeah, it's mainly on the construction industry and kind of where it's headed, things with, issues that are on the plate, like inflation and what's going on with some of the bills that are coming out of Congress to help the infrastructure.
Okay.
What we're seeing. Are we seeing stuff on the national side, regional side, industry trends, things like that?
Ooh. So I see them building a ton of stuff in Columbus, Ohio. It seems like it's been boom. Is that a national trend that it's been booming? And what's the future expectation?
Yeah, a lot of the pent up, building that really didn't happen in the first part of COVID is really starting to take off. So you're seeing a little bit of a resurgence with some of the, retail. And then with the growth with companies like Amazon and online, retail, you're seeing large warehouses go up. That's kind of our bread and butter, the type of stuff that we like to see. And then, resorts and things like that are starting to open back up. So you're seeing kind of that move to the smile, the United States, the coastlines, pick up in construction in California and Texas and Florida. So it's exciting. It's exciting stuff.
Awesome. Cassie, I want to ask you, being a finance person, are you a late night person at summits, or do you try to get to bed on time so you have energy for the next day?
The second one, Tim.
I'm same way.
Especially after being stuck in my house for 2 years, I don't quite have the get up and go that I may be used to.
Yeah, the stamina, the social stamina,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a total introvert and I burn out very quickly at summits, so I have to pace myself.
I understand.
So even more so, I appreciate you guys taking a few minutes, jumping on, giving people like me a little flavor of what it's like. I can see the background there and just hear what's going on. So that's great. I appreciate you coming on and sharing what's going on there.
Yeah.
Anything? Any last parting words you'd like to share with us?
Wish me luck, Tim.
Get a lot of sleep.
It's gonna be a long week. Yeah.
Enjoy, and looking forward to hearing about it in about a month here in our user group in Columbus, Ohio.
Great.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care, you guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Jeremy, thanks for joining us. Maybe you could start off by telling us who you are, who you work for, and what you do there.
Yeah. So thanks for having us. My name is Jeremy Burt, and I'm head of ERP products and integrated products at Paya. Formerly the CEO of Velocity Business Solutions. So we were recently acquired, and my primary role is going to be making sure that the customer experience and frictionless payment processes that we've built into Acumatica carry on through the product lineup at Paya. So
recently acquired. How recent is that?
Last Wednesday, we officially closed.
Oh, wow.
So, yes. So we were supposed to have a booth here, and we decided to join forces here with Paya. And so we officially are in their booth now. So very recent.
Did that last Wednesday have anything to do with Summit, or it was just a total coincidence?
Well, because we have a really a core expertise in Acumatica Obviously, Sean, my brother, who's our CTO, is the head of development over there now, and with Paya. And absolutely, timing was critical. I mean, that's really what pushed us to get the deal done. We really wanted to make that announcement here, along with our AP announcement that Paya is now doing an integrated AP product as well. So we're going to be fully integrated and automated AP and AR experiences coming soon. So yes, that was timing
Cool.
was everything.
Can you show us a quick view there of the booth behind you?
Yeah, yeah, you betcha. So
Okay.
we're actually over here. We're doing AP demos, and then
Okay.
got some of the team in here, and some of them are in breakout sessions. And then over here, we're actually doing our credit card demos and showing our machines and our retail solutions. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Cool.
and then of course, in general, Summit itself is pretty big as usual. Seems like the traffic here is probably a little lighter than we had in July. I think that's due to the recent COVID events and whatnot. But I did take my mask off for the so you guys could hear me. But we generally speaking, everybody is wearing masks and all that good stuff. I think that slowed down a little bit of the traffic. So
Is it one big ballroom or is it kind of sprawling into multiple ballrooms?
same spot as last year with one big ballroom, really the same layout here at the Wynn. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe you
Yeah.
can tell us more about, I don't know much about your prior company and now your current company and your approach to payments. When you say frictionless, I know there's a lot of payment solutions. What, is there a differentiator on the technology side with what you guys do?
100%. So when we came into the ERP channel, Sean's magic is that he understands accounting process. He understands ERP. He understands the why, right? So when customers come to us with payments, the frictionless part is there's so many front ends, right, where the customers interact, whether it be a CRM, whether it be a sales counter for counter sales, your e-commerce experience. So our job and mission has really been to make sure that you can meet your customer with the checkout experience wherever they're at, right? And then everything flows through Acumatica. And on the back end, you're able to do a refund, a void. You can service that customer on the back end however is needed. And if they call you and need to do another transaction with you, that you have that token on file. So our differentiator started there with that true omni-channel experience. We've had a lot of success with counter sales. So folks that are running in Acumatica and actually want to use terminals at the point of sale, we enable that. We've taken the AccuPOS product and built in our payments, and then we're within one retail on the full retail experience. What we've done differently though is we've taken care of the accounting folks on the back end. We pull back the settlement file and do all the bank transactions and clearing. So we actually do the bank deposit through an automated process. And I think the way to think of it is everything that matches goes away and you're automatically just dealing with any exceptions. So should there have been, yeah, and that comes really when you've got multiple branches and multiple locations, essentially lots of checkout experiences. You've got a lot of transactions on the back. We've got some organizations like you're aware of, like Dakota Red was a customer success story from Acumatica. I think they had 14 or 15 locations and multiple terminals at every location. And that one was one that's been really successful for them, being able to streamline this whole experience. Now,
can I ask you on that process? And you might not know, but do you know does the data have to flow back to your system where the magic happens and then push back, or is that code that's happening inside of Acumatica and maybe part of the benefit of having someone who really understands Acumatica on the technology side?
Yeah, so all of the processing experience is you think of everything we do, it's just like you had done it natively in Acumatica. So even though we're taking it out to a credit card terminal or we're leveraging some other front end, everything is just like it was natively. So everything posts back automatically. All the releases, we have features where you can choose it to not release or auto release and all these. We have a ton of functionality. We also have signature capture outside the transaction. So we have 15 or 20 different add-ons that allow you to customize how your payments experience is set up and that's really just around the retail side of it. When we get into the click to pay side of it, that's
what about that before you go to click to pay? What about that reconciliation part specifically? The one where you're
Yes.
doing the clearing, is that
Yeah.
just happening like in Acumatica screens? And that's maybe
Yep.
something that normally would be outside of quote payments, but since you're
Correct.
in the space and familiar with Acumatica, you wrote the
Yes.
logic. Is that what's going on there?
Correct. So we added screens inside of Acumatica where it actually shows so you got to think of your deposit in your bank. Like Acumatica thinks that you did $10,000 worth of credit card processing on a given day, and you got $8,000 from the processor. Sometimes the transaction will get held for one reason or another, right? So your source of truth is really that that deposit that's coming from Velocity, right? And so we take that deposit and we clear all the transactions associated with it and show you if there's any exception. The exceptions really come down to at the end of the month when the fees come in, right? So we break down the fees and push them to the GLs as well. So we automate that. That's actually coming from an API from our funding side of the credit card solution and natively built in, tied in right to the bank deposit process. So we're showing you all the transactions that match, accept them, deal with your exceptions and your offsets however you want to. And there's a ton of things you can do because you have all sorts. You can have chargebacks in there you have to deal with. You could be dealing with rental of your credit card machines. You want that to go to a certain GL, expense wise. So that sort of wraps up that thought process on the deposit side.
Okay, I'll let you go to click to pay next. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad you got some clarity there. Demos are always great on all this, obviously, but click to pay. So we actually have two flavors of click to pay. One is the agnostic, the anonymous payment link, and we actually build that into portal payments. So on the B2B portal, it's iframe, it's in the portal. They don't ever leave, so it feels like that it's natively built into the portal, which it is on the back end. But you're using our click
when
to
you
pay.
say the portal, do you mean the Acumatica customer portal or your own portal?
Correct. Both.
Okay.
We actually do payments in the B2B customer portal as well.
Okay.
And it's all of what we're talking about is credit card and ACH, by the way. But we also are rolling out this month a totally new, we call it Click to Pay 2.0, where it is a full customer portal where they can do multi-pay on multiple documents. We bring in quotes. It's sales orders and invoices. And we are working on CRM quotes too. That'll be our next release. But depending on which workflow you use, which most people will use one or the other, it's either sales orders or invoices, but the customer history is there. It's so tightly integrated that the customer experience for Click to Pay, we brand that as your company. And it doesn't have any of our colors or anything else. The only thing you see from us is a little Click to Pay logo, bottom of the portal. So the customer feels like they're in your company's experience of a portal, which is a great feature. And then they're able to see all the invoices, but we actually see all of the events inside of Acumatica. So your salespeople want to know if that invoice has been viewed. We see all of that inside of our portal, and you can do business events off of it. So, hey, I know that they viewed my invoice. Maybe it's time to follow up and see if there's a reason why they haven't paid that, because I know they got it. Right.
That sounds both interesting and creepy, but I know creepy is powerful.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's useful from, a lot of the AR automations have various things like that built in with notifications. And but the business alerts are pretty powerful because sometimes, you will use it when it's paid. We notice, to notify another department to take action on some steps. So it's everything that we've done has been customer driven. A lot of people have asked us, even in the discussions with Paya about the acquisition, why does Velocity win? And I said, because we're agile and the customer tells us what we need and we tell them this is a great idea, we build it in. And that's what has made our product what it is today. It's 100% customer driven. So
yeah, and that's I guess where your native Acumatica knowledge comes in. Like I know we've had your brother on a live broadcast before, and he was at the Acumatica hackathon, and it seems like he's very into the Acumatica platform. And I'm curious, with the other products you do, when you're integrating with other products, do you get into it to that level of depth, or is there something special about Acumatica that's really attracted you to go deeper than you normally would?
I would say that you're going to see we're rapidly developing, and you're going to see the most exciting new stuff come into Acumatica. But I think as a company, especially
Well,
now
that's a
that
good answer. That's the answer I was hoping to hear.
yeah, well, that's Sean loves the platform, number one.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, it's so flexible, and that knowledge base is really key. I will share with you a very, a differentiator with us. So we collaborate very closely with the partners. We had a partner the other day put a surcharge process in, and it broke our stuff. So we got a call from the customer saying, "Hey, our cards aren't charging correctly." So Sean jumps on the call. This is all happens within 30 minutes. Sean jumps on with the customer. He goes in and looks. He says, "Oh, you got a surcharge enhancement. Let's go ahead and look at that." He goes ahead and unpublishes the enhancement, and everything goes back to normal. He looks at the enhancement, figures out what they didn't extend and what was done improperly, goes back to the partner and says, "Yuri, here's your enhancement fixed, your source code. You can go ahead and republish it, but this is what you did wrong." And that's how we work with our partners we want to be an extension of their team, and we're here to collaborate. So whether we get the frontline call, we don't turn around and point the other finger and say, we have to go talk to the offshore team and then we'll get back to you tomorrow or the next day. And then, no, I mean, it's instantaneous feedback. So just as powerful as Acumatica is, we're right in that thick of it in real time working with our partners. And that's probably we all process payments, but we're innovating at a speed that is hard to replicate. And because Sean
you strike me as almost like you're sort of a payment provider. I mean, that's your main thing, but you're almost sort of a custom Acumatica developer shop as well. That's interesting.
100%.
And to the point again about your other products, it almost seems like Acumatica is the incubation product, and then maybe you push features out to your other products too, but you're innovating a lot in the Acumatica product.
100%. And that's the vision. So we are backfilling all of our other products and tying, like we're taking everything we've done around our customer portal and now connecting it to Sage 100. And what's great is we know that these customers are eventually going to end up on one, an Intact or, an Acumatica, another cloud-based product eventually. Sure. So obviously we're big fans of this particular product, but as part of the Paya family, I mean, it goes without saying that we cover a lot of brands, and we just want to be known when people think about Paya that it's always the same experience. I'm going to get click to pay. I'm going to have counter sales. I'm going to have great support, and I'm going to have a frictionless experience. That's what we're hoping for. And it's just going to be filled with automation. That's our goal. So
that's cool. Well, hey, I'll let you, I'll give you a minute more on the, that you said there's something on the payable side of things. Maybe give us the 60-second version of that.
Yeah, well, that's about what I know about it right now. I'm still actually in the process of getting my demo.
That's fine. And, good enough.
Yeah, so that's
it exists.
That's about all I got right now. We are in it is built into Acumatica. That part's done, and we're going to go ahead and essentially take that and see how much further we can make a seamless product. Right now, there is 2 different portals. Our goal, I think, in 2022 is to unify it and make sure that we have everything in one seamless product. And hopefully we can get there.
Can you answer me this, since I haven't been to that location in Las Vegas? Is it a long walk or a short walk from your room to get to the booth there?
We were just talking about this. It is a long walk. And yes, it's probably about a 5 to 7. In fact, my wife just brought me down some stuff for the booth, and she said going to look for batteries, and to get here, she already had 2,500 steps in. So it's a decent hike.
That's what I heard from last year. Well, see, it's still like a pretty classy venue there. Hopefully, next summit will be more people, but you're at least keeping the streak going of what Acumatica summit is this? Do you know which one in a row for you?
I'm sorry, which one?
Which number in a row of consecutive Acumatica summits is this for you?
Oh, this would be 4th. We started in Houston as a guest, as sort of a fly on the wall, and then we did the Cosmo as a booth, our startup, and then 2 now at the Win. So this is our 4th summit, and they've all been each one just goes next level. I mean, the Acumatica does not do anything small. John and his team puts on a phenomenal show, and we're just super excited to be here. So I'm excited to see where this is a couple of years from now. So
hey, congrats on the acquisition, and thanks for giving us a flavor of Summit. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
All right.
Alrighty.
Take care. Enjoy the rest of the time.
Absolutely. Take care.
Joel Gress, thanks for joining us. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, what company you work for now, and what you do there.
All right, terrific. Hey, Tim, great to see you. Thanks for having me. My name is Joel Gress with SWK Technologies, formerly of Dynamic Tech Services. Happy to be part of the SWK team and having a great time here at Summit.
So when did that acquisition happen? It was somewhat recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, we finalized the deal at the end of the year, and as of 1/1/2022, Dynamic Tech became part of SWK Technologies, creating what I believe to be the biggest Acumatica partner in the world, which is terrific.
Wow. So that's got to be a big change for you. How long did you own Dynamic Tech?
Well, according to LinkedIn, it was 25 years and 5 months.
Wow. And now you're what's the official term? You're not an owner, you're an employee, or how's that work?
Yeah, can you see my tag? It says Vice President.
Okay, Vice President. So you got demoted, but I hopefully you did well in the acquisition.
I think it was a promotion. You know, what I gained was an incredible team, lots of resources. The knowledge base there is immense. I mean, one of the things that we see with Acumatica is incredible opportunity. Lots of customers saying we need cloud ERP, and Acumatica is the player in that space. But finding the experienced team members to actually do the implementation and support the customers is a challenge. By mixing with SWK, we've just got this incredible team with incredible depth, and we've also got the development resources to make it happen for customers. So 2022 is just going to be a rocket ship of a year for us, and we're excited for that. We're excited for our customers. We're excited for all that we can bring to them. And I'm also honored to have received the MVP award for the 7th time. And that, I think that's an exclusive group. That makes me one of 5 people in the world to have that MVP. And I'm joined with several team members at SWK in that award, Mary Abdian, Seth Coons, Michelle Hesketh, and Sharon Conkey, 2 of my former Dynamic Tech team members. So
That's
pretty
awesome.
excited. Yeah.
Good rocket ship point there. It seems like a lot of VAR partners are experiencing being able to sell Acumatica so well because it's booming, but then being difficult to actually fulfill all the implementations on the back end. Sounds like at SWK you got a big team. How big is the team there?
Well, that's a good question. The team is growing, so I can't give you a specific number right now. I know that we increased the team by 30%. They've hired some new folks. They've transitioned some people from other parts of the organization into the Acumatica space because it's growing so fast. So I can't speak to specific numbers, but I can tell you we've got the right team with the right expertise. One of the things I always said in this space is it's really hard to hire junior people and bring them in and have success. They've got a great senior staff. They've got a lot of depth. They've got a lot of knowledge, and it shows when we bring them together with customers. Just last night, we had a customer event over at Le Cave, and there were, the room was full, but I can tell you there were at least 40 customers and prospects that are attending the event. WK, that's a substantial number of people. These people are invested in Acumatica, and they're working with SWK to make it happen. And I think that just speaks volumes. And as I watch the team just gravitate around the room, answering questions for customers, you can see the smiles on their face and almost a little bit of relief as they could see, hey, they came to the right place and they're going to get the answers they need.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and the best part was I really didn't have to do much.
On that point, what's it like for you personally now, transitioning from being an owner to being a vice president? What's been the biggest change for you, and the thing you're getting used to the most?
Well, I think out of the gate, you go from being top dog to being a stray dog. Slowly you get taken into the pack and you find your way. Everybody at SWK is very warm and welcoming, and it really, for me, it's a great relief to be part of such a wonderful team. They've given me a lot of latitude to find my space and how I can contribute and kind of just help the Acumatica community and help SWK. Which leads me to more latitude to re-engage with the Acumatica user group and trying to move that forward. And what's great about that is that SWK has a large customer base already. So we've got a great group of Acumatica customers to get the user group going again, which is very nice.
I'm glad you brought that up. We've had a conversation about that on a podcast a while ago. What's your current involvement with what is it, in person, or what do you got going on user group wise these days?
Yeah, Tim, in our last podcast, we talked a little bit about my vision for the user group, and it was a mix of in-person and people remotely kind of in pods. And that was, pre-pandemic. And I actually think that everyone going through the pandemic is kind of embracing that kind of mode of operation now. So I think it bodes very well for reinvigorating the user group in a format where there are some groups of people meeting in a variety of areas. They're connected remotely, viewing some shared content, and then having their own experience within their group as well. So I'm very hopeful that in this year of 2022 that we'll have some nice announcements sponsored by SWK to have some user group events that involve some other people, including folks from the Acumatica staff and other bars.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I guess I was worried that the acquisition would maybe take you off the user group map. It sounds like you're still very much on the map, so I'm glad to hear that.
Well, it's one of the things I really do enjoy is the user group. Acumatica has always been a great community, and I know there's a lot of folks out there that are using Acumatica, and they really haven't been able to get together with other folks and get into the community. The community platform that Chris Hackett's now the monitor of, has been a great resource for people. But I just think that you really need to have some in-person events. You need to get some people connected so that they can ask questions. I've got some ideas on some formats to not only have people connect within the user group, but build connections outside of the user group and continue to build their own pods and move things forward.
I like the word pod for that. I'm trying next month on I can't remember the date off the top of my head. I think it's February 24th. Booked a room here in Columbus, Ohio. Going to try a little user group format, and I think of it like a pod. I mean, I'm not thinking of it as a top-down thing. I'm thinking of it as try something out, and you're going to try stuff in Atlanta, and other people can try stuff in other places. And when you say Acumatica community, to me, that's the broader context of something that's not necessarily controlled. Everyone's trying out their different things, and we're all building the community in different ways. So I like that word for that. The pod is a great word to describe when boots on the ground in a location, what you're doing to contribute to the community.
Right. I think it also speaks that we don't all have to get together in one central place, and that those pods can be connected to one another. So I'm really interested to hear how your event goes up in Columbus. I mean, do you have a format for it?
I do. I'm still fleshing it out. So that'll be kind of like the unveiling of the format. We'll see. But I don't put a whole lot into it up front. I'm more of a try it out, and if it falls flat, iterate from there and see what happens.
Well, it's always good just to kind of mix and match and get the users involved and get their input as well. Everybody always likes a user panel. That's one of the concepts that we had at one of our previous user events. It was kind of like the dating game. The only difference was that, we'd have each of the customers talking about what they do, and it was the audience picking who they wanted to connect with.
I like that. Yeah, then you know who you want to talk to afterwards because you've heard it straight from the person on stage, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Who speaks to you, who connects, who's in your industry, who's doing things that you want to understand and replicate within your organization, and what can you share back with them? It's been interesting is one of the Acumatica developer MVPs who's with CTEC, Brian, I was speaking to him, and he was talking about starting off a community project. And a community project around creating a equipment management module that's specific to an industry that he's operating in. Really deals with factory equipment, and when a machine goes down, it needs a part. How do we requisition that part and make sure the machine gets repaired? But the whole point is that he's starting a community project, something that he's going to put some development time into and ask other developers to contribute to, that's going to be open and out there in the community. I think we've seen this with a WMS product that came out of, I want to say, either Australia or New Zealand. Have you seen that?
Yes, I had him on my podcast recently. Yes.
Okay. I got to catch up on your podcast,
It's
Tim.
basically sorry,
I
go
should
ahead.
have a little more time now, but it's not happening just yet.
Well, no, I like the idea that, a community is more than just a GitHub link, especially from a development standpoint. Yeah, you got the GitHub framework and foundation to collaborate from a technical standpoint, but then it's all about connecting and how you do that in person versus like what we're doing right now, a live broadcast or whatever is kind of a creative side of it, right? And I like that we're both kind of experimenting with different things to see how to contribute to build the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to us collaborating in the future and putting some of these pieces that we both have success with together and kind of rolling that out to the larger community.
So I got to ask if you have something on the calendar yet for something in Atlanta this year. You still working on that?
Not just yet. I've got some meetings to have yet. And, what is this, the 21st, 22nd of the month? So I'm 22 days into being with SWK. So there's a few things I need to figure out yet.
Well, let's definitely compare notes. And one thing I like about this live broadcast format, we didn't prep before this, so I got to find out live that you're still involved in user groups. And so I'm super excited. This is my actual, I'm not faking this here. I'm very excited as soon as I heard you say that.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited by it as well. There's nothing like getting in front of the customer and talking to them about what it is they're trying to solve for, and then coming up with ideas on how you can solve. I mean, it's the reason I got into ERP is because it's a puzzle. I like solving this kind of puzzle that helps businesses. And so when you get into the user group, now you've got a bigger group of people trying to work together to solve each other's problems. And it's a community of puzzle solvers.
So I got to ask you too on that. You got another 5 minutes or so?
Okay.
I got to ask you then, from your perspective as a VAR, now at SWK, I know a lot of VARs have a concern when people come together in a community because now they're talking to each other. They might all have different VARs, and that makes a lot of VARs nervous, that they might lose the customer. What's your take on that? Or what do you say to other VARs to help alleviate that kind of concern?
Be part of the conversation. And that's the key. If you're talking to your customers, you're sharing knowledge with them and you're keeping them informed, then you're doing your part to keep them as your customer. And that's what we all need to do. I mean, whether you're trying to communicate with them or keep them separate from other communications, it's just not going to happen. The information's out there. They're going to follow it. They're going to find it. They're going to engage with it. So just join the conversation. I think everybody's very respectful within the community. They honor that customers are with other partners. They also honor the choice of customers. And that's just something we need to continue to do.
I really like that line.
Yeah.
That's a great line. The conversation is happening with or without you. Join the conversation. This is 2022. This is not 1990. You can't keep people off of Google, off of social media. The conversation's happening. It's great to join it rather than, try to pretend it doesn't exist. I like that. That's great.
Yeah, and I think we need to look at the partners that are out there and the things that they're doing that are successful in educating and communicating to the customers. And we need to try and make that come into the fold of the user group and make it more accessible to everybody.
I like Tim. I think it's Tim Thompson from Crestwood on stage this morning. I can't remember his exact words, but he made the point about, with their customers, they bring in outside parties. They're not afraid to bring in outside parties, kind of along those same lines. They're joining the conversation, not keeping someone isolated. I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of smart people out there that have ideas, and we just need to listen to them. And there's a lot of them out there that I think are actively contributing on the Acumatica community, but it's hard to sift through all of those conversations and find those individuals or those strengths. I mean, even if you search, it still is a challenge to find that conversation piece. I mean, you've been great in all the content you've put out there. I know you and I together have had lots of ideas that we've put out to Acumatica as well as other partners, bringing those forward into a conversation in a larger community to hear face-to-face feedback from people on it, I think would be very helpful.
Well, I'm looking forward to continuing being part of the conversation with you here in 2022. And thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, I'm sure, at Summit to join us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want a view of the Summit floor before you leave?
Sure. Let's take a look.
All right. All right.
You can even walk us around if you want. Maybe take us around a corner or two.
Hello, podcast world.
Hello.
Yeah, here's a little bit of the folks that are out here. What they're doing.
Very cool. Looks like the Acumatica booth's right in the middle there, huh?
It is. It is. It's a good show. And Tim, you're going to have to share some of your technology with me. We might be able to use it in the future.
Well, let's do it. Let's exchange some emails. I'm happy to be transparent.
Sounds good.
All
Take
right,
care.
Joel. Thanks again.
Alrighty. Bye.
All right. Well, that's it for now. We'll catch you on the next episode of AUGforums.com Real Talk. Thanks for listening and take care.